is doing some serious hurt bringing to our Ukrainian buddy DIMAGA. He is up 2-0. DIMAGA needs to win the next 3 games in a row if he wants to make it to the grand finals. And of course, keep in mind, no matter what happens to either player, alright, we're going to try that one more time. No matter what happens to either player, they're going to have a tough road ahead of them because the winner of this series will be facing Sen in the grand final. And Sen looked extraordinarily good against Machine in the Zerg vs. Zerg round of 8 and looked even better against Torrent, the ZVP, in the round of 4. So in the grand finals, whether it's against DIMAGA or White Raw, Sen is looking real strong. Let's see what happens in Game 3 between DIMAGA and White Raw. The map is going to be Lost Temple. Now, this is a map that traditionally you think that Protoss do like quite a bit, yet over time Zergs have been liking it more and more and more because they're getting better at defending expansions. In the early days of yore, it really was the abusable terrain and the one basing that was good for Protoss, and then it was the very easy to defend expansion that was good for Protoss, but now Zergs are getting better at taking 3rd and 4th bases, and Lost Temple is a map that has very secure expansions in general, so I'm not surprised that DIMAGA did choose this map. Do see, again, a pylon going down, nowhere near the ramp, very similar to what White Raw did in the previous game. Would say that it turned out okay, but I still don't see the huge reason why he's building it that close to his main base. Perhaps he just knows his opponent DIMAGA quite well. A player like the little one, you never know when he's going to be doing something like 6 pooling, so having an early wall off can be instrumental for not dying. Speaking of not dying, my fever hasn't killed me yet. Hanging in strong. Day 9, fighting! There is the gateway going down right now for White Raw. DIMAGA sees everything. Again, gateway on 12 by Duckload. He is getting the chrono boost. DIMAGA, again, the extremely safe play. We talked about this a little bit around Game 1, right before the show started, about the fact that DIMAGA does change styles over time, but when he enters a tournament, he sticks to his current style. You don't see a lot of variety within a best of X. Whereas we've seen White Raw go from Colossus Void Ray heavy to Big 5 Warp Gates. So really, Duckload is going to be the one doing a lot of the crazy, unpredictable strats. But he's got to be careful. You'll notice that this pylon power just barely doesn't hit the edges. If his building placement is anything but perfect, he will not be able to contain that wall off. So it looks like we're getting the good old camera nod from the probe, just blocking everything off. DIMAGA, again, going for very, very fast Zergling speed. It's one of those styles that really cannot be bad on any map. Sometimes other strategies will benefit a little bit more strongly, but again, it's very hard for this type of play to be bad. There's the probe moving in, taking a little bit of a look. Gotta be careful when you're crossing through mineral lines. Players like to box everything, surround, and pick that off. Make sure you're clicking on that mineral field so it moves through. We do see the cybernetics core going down, but again, is there a little bit of a hole there? That can always be somewhat of a concern. Do see the Zealot popping out right now for Duckload, continuing to chrono boost. The one other issue I foresee by having a gateway right here instead of at the front of the base, Zerg sees this and immediately knows a second gateway is going to have to go down there eventually. So that means that Zerg can immediately cut out some sort of one gateway, ultra fast Stargate, these sorts of plays. Because honestly, if he did go a one gate ultra fast Stargate, you just go and kill him, right? Pretty standard play. DIMAGA now trying to pick off this one probe. Expo going down for DIMAGA. Nothing out of the ordinary. I don't know why I raised my intonation quite so much. He's expanding. Whoa! But you know what? It's standard fare. But here's something a little bit surprising. Oh, no! Oh, DIMAGA. Oh, my gosh. This is such a blunder to have not moved this Overlord out of the way early enough, and Zergling speed is not quite yet done. It's at 23 health, 9 health, and he's just going to be able to dart right up into the main, and the Sentry will not be out in time. Will he get speed done? There it finally finishes. He sees the 4 gateway, so now DIMAGA has an excellent idea of everything that's going on. Again, pick off probes at the geysers. He's doing exactly that. Getting 2 probes. Can he get the 3rd one? Oh, yes, he does manage to pick it off. 4 Zerglings for 3 probes. Excellent little exchange of materials there. Duckload going to go ahead and let those 2 gateways finish. Excuse me, I misspoke. I said 4 gateways. I had assumed that there was a phantom gateway at the front. Goodness knows, standard play coming out right now from White Raw. We do see DIMAGA taking his expo. Quite a lot of money in Camp DIMAGA. It looks like he got Overlord blocked. That Overlord is now finishing. Money being spent on the spine crawlers. Very fast Roach Warren from DIMAGA. He's continuing to vomit on extra larva. And it looks like the very fast expand coming up from White Ra. Excuse me while I mute myself so I can cough a little bit. Oh man, was that gross. Thank God you guys didn't hear that. Woo! Looks like we have the Roach Warren coming out right now. Again, getting a little bit supply blocked. It's not severe, but that's the kind of thing that creates little bumps in your gameplay. Looks like DIMAGA is going to continue to be able to close off this entrance with that pylon. He's definitely going to like that style of play. A lot of Protosses prefer nowadays to get 2 more gateways instead of getting the Forge, but it looks like Duckload is favoring a little bit more of the Forge play. We've seen him like to tech a little bit more. That's an absolutely fine play. We do see the Robo coming down. Yep. Pretty typical at this point. 3 gateways, just enough to help you stay alive against early pressure. 5 gateways with no Forge, great way to put pressure back on the Zerg. You would generally do that if you were fearful of a mass muta play. We see DIMAGA now continuing to get up higher and higher tech, making a lot of drones. Wow, 9 drones coming out the double gas. I would not be surprised if DIMAGA did go for the big fat Spire play. There's a bunch of sentries out right now. And the Zerglings are now holding by the Xel'Naga Watchtower. We do see a Stalker now getting warped in. Robo getting increasingly close to done. Hallucination, very cool play. Love Hallucination. Again, this is patch 1.1.3. Hallucination does take 110 seconds to build, not the 80 that it has been changed to now. A few Zerglings get picked off by the very standard sentry-heavy push early on. We do see that that layer is up. No Spire coming up right now. A 3rd hatch instead. Wow, the big Roach play. There's the Evo Chamber for the +1 attack, the +1 ranged attack, the missile attack upgrade for those Roaches, increasingly becoming the play of choice by Zergies. Very, 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 very cool stuff coming out. Very cool evolution of styles. We also see an Overseer getting produced by DIMAGA. He wants to get a good sense of everything going on in his opponent's base. There is the +1 missile upgrade coming out. DIMAGA can also use this very fast Overseer to poop some Contaminate onto that, block it from being able to construct anything for the time being. He wanders into White Ra's main. It looks like White Ra going to be pulling everything back. There's the Observer coming up right now. An Immortal and a +1 coming up from Duckload. And this is a little bit interesting because he doesn't quite have a lot of production right now. Only 4 unit-producing structures, those gateways and those Robos. So he will not... Ooh, getting a little spit on the Nexus there. That is going to pretty much prevent 2 probes from being produced. Very cool. It's unfortunate that doing this doesn't block everything from mining, as that would be totally kick-assedly overpowered, but again, Blizzard believes in balance, which I think is very rude of them. Twilight Council coming up right now for Duckload. This would likely entail an extremely fast +2 weapons upgrade, or perhaps some sort of Dark Templar play, perhaps some sort of Blink play. White Ra has used both of them very frequently, occasionally even just getting it simply for the upgrades and nothing else. It does look like White Ra has a very long-term plan ahead of him, as he is just making units at this point in time out of a small number of structures and getting a hell of a lot of upgrades. Overseer splits into a million pieces, and we do see now a lot of Roaches being produced at this point in time. Epileptic Phoenix going to make sure, is there anything building here? Oh my god, it looks like everything is clear. Don't worry about it, Master. So that means that White Ra knows that nothing is really going on at this point in time. So we do see that there's this mass Roach play coming up. This is almost exactly what Sen was doing against Torrent, and it was extremely effective. We do see, and there's the +2 going down. Is he going to be getting anything from that Twilight Council? Yes, Blink is coming up. We do see absolutely no attempt at an expansion. Cannon's going down in the middle. A very interesting play. Looks like he wants to be able to defend against the Roach Burrow, but it's the mass Roach he's going to have to worry about. Oh no! Some totally fail force fields getting thrown down, cutting off some of the Roaches, but they just easily swing around to the other sides. These 2 Immortals are really going to need to do a lot of damage if they want to be able to defend this attack. 1 Immortal's down to half health, and there it falls. We do see 6 Stalkers, 1 Immortal left, and the huge Roach count of DIMAGA ends up cleaning up. The force fields were not good enough, and as though the situation weren't crappy enough for White Ra, 19 more Roaches en route. Here they are all hatching, streaming down to White Ra's base. White Ra going to make some emergency cannons. We see 1 more gateway getting thrown down, but there's no DT cavern in sight. So that means he will not be able to build those DTs again. Ah! White Ra with a missed force field. Things sneak right on in, but I don't even think it matters at this point. That fundamental misstep during that last battle means that White Ra doesn't even have enough units to be able to defend against this assault. And there we see that that Immortal is getting completely annihilated, and DIMAGA has started to claw his way back, making the series 2-1, up from 2-0. That means that DIMAGA needs to win 2 more games to advance to the finals against Sen, whereas White Ra is still 1 win away. For any of you just tuning in, this is the Root Gaming Warzone tournament sponsored by DreamHost as well as Fnatic MSI's Xeris. So, don't go anywhere. We're going on to Game 4 to see if White Ra can close the series out in a 3-1 fashion or if DIMAGA will